I'm joined by Chris Giles, co-founder, CEO of FanRally, former COO of the Oakland Athletics. We have a lot to talk about, Chris, but let's try to keep it in chronological order a little bit. You came over to the A's. I know you were instrumental in getting Levi's Stadium built with the 49ers. You had a lot of expertise, and the product you built there with the A's, the excitement you built, A's Access, it was a high watermark, I'd say, for a lot of A's fans and their experience. So what exactly happened after that?
We learned a ton in that process, which really opened my eyes to the way modern fans wanted to interact with their favorite teams. We opened up a ton of flexibility. We said, hey, if you're willing to commit to being a member of the A's, you can come to any game you want. We did 50% off concessions pricing. And what I realized is it wasn't just, the fans in Oakland that were looking for something new. It was teams throughout the globe. And so I left in January 2020 to found FanRally, which is just a platform that makes it super easy for members to exchange their seats, upgrade their seats, add seats on for friends. We don't have this hey, 3 friends for every single game that, which is how static tickets work. We have dynamic lives and we have different groups of people we want to go with that really lend themselves to different experiences. And so that's really what I've been working on since I left the A's.
Anything interesting or different happen right after January 2020 that may have changed the world and how people attend games, Chris?
Yeah, that was one of those hold up the mirror moments. I wasn't quite sure what I had gotten myself into. The entire live events industry shut down.
Yeah.
But it really ended up, in hindsight now that we're completely through it, it's looking more and more like a blessing. Teams were available to sit down with, long format interviews with me. We did a ton of market research. And that's all because they weren't putting on, games night after night. They were, stepping back and thinking about kind of, hey, how can we use this time to improve some of the things we're doing in the long run that kind of season in, season out cycle doesn't really lend itself to that sort of innovation. And so it really ended up being a period of time where we could reflect and think about how can we make fan experiences better in Major League Baseball?
Yeah. Now we look at the A's, the pandemic hit. You left before the pandemic really took hold, but they sort of used that as an opportunity to furlough just about everybody that you guys had brought on. I remember talking to you in the dugout. The A's had staffed up. You probably hired 100 people and you were doing all these unique and different and interesting things and trying to make the fan experience better. Treehouse, Shibe Park Tavern, A's Access, the discounts, and then they chopped it all. So once the pandemic ended, why do you think they never really went back to all the things that were trending in the right direction for the organization?
Casey, I really can't speak to that. I haven't been with the team since January of 2020. I'm really not sure, to be honest.
But you can at least opine based on your inside knowledge that it was a little bit curious, yes?
I wasn't quite sure why. And I honestly, as the founder and CEO of FanRally, I get asked that question a lot. And I honestly don't know the answer.
Now, when you were building Levi's Stadium, for example, with the 49ers, the team was in an upward trajectory right into the stadium build. The years you were with the A's, it was almost a similar thing. You had this exciting young group coming up. You were primed for playoff years. You had all the A's Access stuff. They were pushing to try to get something done in Oakland. That is all on the back burner, if not gone at this point in time. So do you feel like in that era, the city was as helpful as you'd like them to have been? What did you think was happening in that time frame? I know there was an announcement for Laney College and the Peralta Community College site that went defunct before Howard Terminal was announced. What did you see as the vision when you were on board as COO with the A's?
Yeah, I wasn't directly involved in those negotiations. My role was really to focus on improving the experience for the fans, attracting new fans to the team. What I did witness was all of the stakeholders really coming together at that point in time. Now, obviously, it's been a number of years. I can't really speak to what has happened since, but what I can say is when I was there, I saw ownerships, elected officials at the city, elected officials at the county, all coming together to work towards a ballpark in Oakland.
Yeah. And if you could have chosen a site, what was your preference? Do you think the Coliseum was viable? Do you think it was not viable? You had Howard Terminal. I mean, what would your vision have been if you were in charge?
I was really excited about the Howard Terminal site. I think there's something special about being on the water. I think the ballpark that we designed was going to be ultra intimate. And that was really my favorite. That was really, I thought, really lent itself to a modern ballpark experience where you've got all sorts of different restaurants and different members of the community coming together to really create an experience that a team can't create on its own. It needs that community involvement and all of those other businesses creating that atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think that someone that was as fan forward as you in thinking of experience and all those things, Howard Terminal checked all those boxes, being ingrained in Jack London Square right there in the water, really close to downtown. I mean, it's sad that they seem to have given up on it. I hope they go back to it at some point. But what are your thoughts now on the path to Vegas at this point in time? Do you see Vegas as a good alternative for a team? It's a very small market, which means they might be on revenue sharing, 9-acre stadium, a whole different ballgame out there.
I certainly think it's a rebuild from a lot of perspectives. I can't help but empathize with all of the fans in Oakland. I think they're the real victims in this scenario. I was able to spend time with people that going to A's games was their livelihood. And that's really who I'm thinking about, in these times. Is that was the best thing about my job in Oakland was I got to talk to the fans. I was encouraged by ownership and senior leadership to listen to them, to really understand how we could improve their experience. It wasn't just A's Access. It was the tree house. It was doing things like inviting all of the members down on the field, for Member Appreciation Day. Those are really the memories that stick out to me and really highlight that experience for me. And every time we talk about relocation, that's where my mind goes, is back to those fans who have been fans their entire life. A lot of them are spending, 81 dates out there in left field or right field. And that's really kind of where my focus is at this time is, thinking about the real victims in this scenario, which are the fans.
Yeah, I know you're also very focused on FanRally. We're going to talk more about that too, obviously. But have you seen what these fans are pulling off lately with the reverse boycotts, packing the stadium, getting the sell the team chants off at the All-Star game, all these other stadiums? I mean, these are people you got to know pretty well as COO. Yeah. I mean, how blown away are you by what they've accomplished? I know that even when they initially brought some of this stuff up to me, I was like, don't do it. I don't see how you could pull it off. And they have pulled it off in spades.
Yeah, it's really inspirational. I think when a group of people come together with that common passion, which is keep my team here, I think it's really special for, just to watch. And I'm really proud of a lot of the fans, for showing how much they support their team. What I know for a fact is that I've never encountered a more passionate fan base than the fan base that I encountered in Oakland.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that they would have loved to keep A's Access. I know that since then, they have essentially doubled ticket prices. The same seats are now twice as expensive, and the team is about 100 times worse. So not exactly the way you want to pack a stadium at this point in time, right, Chris?
Yeah, I really do believe that the flexibility and the fan-centric approach are really the way of the future. I think a lot of teams sell their tickets to consumers, and then it's up to the consumers to do what they want with them. So we've had secondary market players really providing that flexibility that I believe that teams should be providing directly. Why not allow members to move their seats, to upgrade their seats, to add on seats for friends? Like, we're even exploring things like move down nights at different ballparks, where if you're a member, you get a notification that day, hey, all upgrades are free. You can pick any seat you want. And that's really what membership is about. And my A's Access experience really highlighted that for me, is let the members, they're the ones committing to the team on a night in, night out basis. they don't necessarily want 2 seats to every single game and they got to find one friend to go with. They want the ability to go with different groups, to have that flexibility. And I strongly believe that teams, highlighted by my experience with A's Access, should be providing that directly.
Now, the Astros 2022 World Series champs, obviously a huge rival to A's, especially when you were there, but they're buying into this FanRally thing. And who else is coming on board here? Because I know you're picking up a lot of pro teams, a lot of college teams. I mean, what have you seen from some of these teams that jumped in with you?
Yeah, I mean, we're even having league level conversations now, talking to leagues about licensing the FanRally platform for their, entire group of teams. Teams are using it for flexible season ticket programs. They're using it for subscriptions. They're using it, to provide, programs for students who, may read 5 books and get a free voucher, when those have always been complicated things to pull off because you didn't have a dynamic system. Whereas FanRally, we can deliver that voucher, allow them to add seats for any other family members that want to go, really trying to make that flexible experience work.
Yeah. And what have been some of your best success stories with this program, just in particular? I mean, what are some of your favorite moments that have come since this launch? I know you launched this thing 2020, pandemic happened, everything's back up and running now. So do you have any favorite, success stories so far?
Yeah, I mean, we run a number of programs for the Brewers. They were the first team to sign on board. We've got over 7,000 members on the programs that we run for them. We're also having a ton of success with the Clippers. They have canceled season tickets in a large portion of their stadium, and they run exclusively FanRally memberships. And so those are the 2 that I would highlight.
Yeah, that's really cool, Chris. I think this is an exciting thing. I know that a lot of people probably watch this want to hear more A's, but I think that what you did with A's Access and then scaled it up to FanRally, I mean, it could change the game completely. So it's a really innovative and cool concept. And I'm telling you, man, I talk to so many people that miss A's Access.
I miss A's Access too. And I do want to take a quick minute and just say thank you to all of the fans in Oakland who made my time with the team so special. You guys will always have a special place in my heart. I encourage them, keep doing what you're doing. But just wanted to say thank you for all the special memories that I have with A's fans.
Yeah, you got the blurred Zoom background, but I'm pretty sure I see that Giles A's Kelly Green there over your shoulder.
That's
so
exactly
I know it's still
what
near
it
and
is.
dear to your heart.
That was not my intention here. There you go.
Hey. No, I know the blurred background is a very common thing. It's not like you're trying to hide the jersey. I know that. I just am calling it out because it's cool to have something like that.
Maybe my notes and things over here, but not necessarily the jersey.
Yeah, we don't want all the secrets. We don't need all that. I just have a bunch of random cool stuff back here too, so I just keep it unblurred. But all right, man. Well, I know that was a really heartfelt message you just left for the A's fans, and that's cool because they read that article in the Review Journal, and some of them were pretty heated at you, man. You know that, right?
I saw it on Twitter. That was not my intention. A lot of times I get asked for my comments on ballpark size and those sort of things. I do think smaller ballparks are the way to go. And I think a lot of times those sort of statements can get, misconstrued in an article, but I did want to take the opportunity and just let the A's fans know how important they are to me and how special that period of my life was.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that if they build at Howard Terminal, if they ever come back to the table, that will also be a small ballpark. So your comments there also pertain to Howard Terminal. There you go.
That's right.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully FanRally can come back to Oakland at some point. I know that the fans sorely miss the innovative concepts that you came up with there.
I would love nothing more.